Good day. Good day. Hello, CJ. Welcome. Today is Thursday, February 13th. February 13th. Anything going on? It's the 13th. No apparition anniversaries. Too soon. Anyway, we're going to continue on with our message of giving ourselves credit. And I did speak with Mr. Nobody. We had a nice conversation yesterday. We were laughing and trying to get through this world one day at a time. He's continuing the process of, in the Northeast, we call it spackling and mudding or mudding with the sheetrock. Good day, Peter. Pedar. And that's going well. For him, it's brutally tedious. The man has extreme patience, let me tell you. When we were building our house years ago, our first house when I was 20 something, I looked at how that was being done and how much I had to do, and I had somebody else do it. But he's persistent, and I wish everybody could help him in one way or the other, in any way they can. So please do that. That's for the monastery there in Chicago. Yes, he's doing that for the monastery. That's correct. There is going to be room for him to stay there as well, which is going to be very important for him. He's endured quite a bit in his life, and he's getting closer to that point where he can lay his head in something that he can be proud of. He's also very proud. We're very proud of what he did with the website, as you all know. And when Jose asked me, what's going to happen, if the IRS, if we can't get our remedy before they close the IRS. This is a really good question. It's like a Jubilee need, a need for Jubilee. There's such a reckoning that needs to happen. It's hard to know what the plan is, what Deum's plan is, because there has been so much that has been taken from us, the people, by the small hats for so long. It's almost like, money really doesn't just satisfy that. However, people get lulled into this idea that the gold, we're going back onto the gold standard. That's going to be a good thing. Depends on who has the gold. Okay, and right now, the people don't have gold. All right, the banks and the countries have been hoarding gold up like mad. It's crazy. I just saw this country in Africa, something Faso. I forgot the first word of the, but they've got a quote unquote leader in there who seems to be doing good things for his people, but he just confiscated the entire country in the name of the government, and and they sold it in a way that was such that because they were being constantly abused and manipulated by foreign corporations who would come in there and steal all their raw materials and leave them with piddly stuff. They decided to just take the property and prevent that from happening. However, you know, property rights is fundamental to freedom, and I don't mean that in an American sense. I mean that in a Catholic sense. And so it is the people there are all cheering him on because he's doing so many other good things, but this one is not necessarily a good thing, because then, you know, they can just pull the rug out from under your house anytime they want, or anywhere. And again, I'm almost positive it's not a Catholic country. I have a feeling it might be Muslim. But in any case, let's get to the straw man. I've got a chapter on the straw man, just so we can more fully understand that deception. And the book doesn't, in my opinion, point out strongly enough that it is a deception, that it is a creation of deceit, and it should not be used ever. All right. So in a Catholic monetary system or world or monarchy, you wouldn't have straw men. Okay. Those and you, as you listen, I'll point it out, and you'll be able to tell right away what I mean by that. All right. So let's get started. I'm already thirsty. Thank you, Lucy, for your donation. Very much appreciate it. I do have a new PayPal address. It's in the description in the newer videos. I actually had no fees taken out this time, so that I have to double check it. But initially, it looked like it came through as such. So I'm going to double check today. But thank you for that. Don't need to give them any more fees. I'm working hard on wrapping myself around this idea of the credit system. And again, like I said, hopefully this lasts, this whatever lasts long enough for us to receive it, or may we dramatically be brought into the world that the Trinitarian Theophany desires. In nomine Dei, Patronum Nostri, et Deum Iesus Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity, and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Most Holy Trinity, I firmly believe that thou art Deum Patronum Nostri, et Deum Iesus Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, in one Divine Family. And relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesus Christum, et Deum Patronum Nostri. O most Holy Trinity, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O Most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Most Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O Most Holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dea Maternam Nostrae, Mother of God, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deam Maternam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all because I have offended thee, who art good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve with the help of thy grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. In nomine Dei, Maternam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Scooch up a little bit more. Okay, so your mirror image straw man, and it's not yours. Let me correct them right off the bat, okay? As a child, you had an imaginary friend, maybe not. You may be surprised, or you have learned of others who have had, maybe in other faiths, or not faiths, they're not faiths. You may be surprised to learn that evidence exists that you have had a make-believe twin from the time your mother and father permitted a birth certificate to be applied for you in your name. To be applied for in your name. This make-believe friend is not real but artificial. It is a straw man, an artificial entity that has a name very similar to yours. Here is a definition of straw man. Quote, a front, a third party who is put up in name only to take part in a transaction. Nominal party to a transaction, unquote. Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition. Quote, the term is also used in commercial and property contexts when a transfer is made to a party, the straw man, simply for the purpose of retransmitting to the transferor in order to accomplish some purpose not otherwise permitted. That's Barron's 3rd edition. Okay, so again, here's something where they're trying to get around morality. Okay, some purpose not otherwise permitted. So, in other words, something wrong. So, and they don't point that out in this book, and I wanted to do that because they're so stuck on Americanism. So in layman's terms, what is a straw man? The straw man is an artificial person created by law shortly after you were born via the registration of the application for your birth certificate. The name for the straw man is your name in all capital letters. The inscription on your birth certificate is also your name in all capital letters. The English language has precise rules of grammar that make no provision for writing proper nouns in all capital letters. So your name spelled with all capital letters is a fictitious name. All right, so there are rules out there, and there are grammar rules. And again, there's those who have been able to put the English language into a mathematical correct formula for its usage. Jason Matthew Glass, Jason-Matthew Glass, pardon me, to me has been the premier instructor on that usage. And you can learn that usage by taking a course with him, which I introduced this gentleman to the one who's helping me with this credit business and the novation letters, and he is going to take the class. And I just don't have time. I really wanted to take it myself. Your straw man, and I'm too old. realistically, at a certain age, your ability to um, learn new things is much slower than it was when you're younger. That's fact, and I'm okay with that. I want to slow down. I don't want to keep going up. Your straw man has the same sounding name as your name, but it names an artificial entity which exists only by force of or in contemplation of law. Okay, so there we go. Another couple of words there that are, or terms or uses that indicate something not good. Okay, it exists only by force of. Okay, so that's not free. The all caps name is not your true name, which consists of your given name plus the surname, your family name. Okay, so your given name is, again, it should be a Catholic name. Used to be, and it should be, that you name it after somebody you admire, especially for their saintliness, their holiness. And then the surname is your family name. And it appears in script with only initial letters capitalized. So the first letters of each of those names would be capitalized and then lowercase. The all caps version of your name is a trade name, the name under which you, quote unquote, do business in commerce. Okay, and again, this is all set up by them, not by us. Okay, with a Catholic system, we will do business as with our own names. Okay, corporations shouldn't exist. There's no need to hide behind a corporation. You may also say that the straw man is a person, quote unquote, according to the legal dictionary. Quote, person, 1, a human being, 2, an entity such as a corporation that is recognized by law as having the rights and duties of a human being, unquote. Black's Law Dictionary, 7th edition. The straw man may also be an artificial person, quote unquote, which is defined in the legal dictionary as, quote, an entity such as a corporation created by law and given certain legal rights and duties of a human being, a being, real or imaginary, who for the purpose of legal reasoning is treated more or less as a human being, also termed fictitious person, juristic person, legal person, moral person, unquote. That's Black's Law Dictionary, 7th edition. A straw man may also be thought of as a legal fiction, quote unquote. A legal fiction is an assumption of fact made by court as basis for deciding a legal question. A situation, now listen to this, a situation contrived by the law to permit a court to dispose of a matter, unquote. So in other words, if they can't settle something, they create something in order to settle the matter. And it's usually because there's a moral question involved and they want to get around that. And that's Black's Law, 5th edition. As we explore further, we must distinguish between the straw man, an it or person, and the real flesh and blood human being, which we will call a man. Man has a legal definition. Human being, a person of the male sex, a male of the human species above the age of puberty. In the most extended sense, the term includes not only the adult male sex of the human species, but women and children. In feudal law, a vassal, a tenant, or feudatory, unquote. That's Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Vassal, interesting. So we conclude that man is a term of nature, But who created nature? Some would say God, quote unquote. Others would say the creator, a term often used by the founders of our country, while others might hold a different view. On the other hand, we see person as a term of civil law. Who is the creator of civil law? Quote, civil law, a rule of civil conduct prescribed by the supreme power of a state, the civil or municipal law of the Roman Empire, unquote. Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, 3rd edition. So kings, emperors, or legislative bodies acting in a sovereign capacity are the so-called creators of civil law. When our government acts as a sovereign, it is acting outside of its constitutional authority. So we see that a man and a person are very different terms identifying very different things. If you study Roman civil law, you will see that it originates and uses fictions of law, concepts that are contrary to the natural order of things and based upon presumptions that are not true. This person, quote unquote, recognized in the civil law is a fictional entity. The straw man is a person, a public name that is recognized in civil society. We've mentioned legal fiction and fiction of law, so let's see how these are defined. A fiction of law is an assumption or supposition of law that something which is or may be false is true, or that a state of facts exists which has never really taken place. I might want to say a lie. An assumption for purposes of justice of a fact that does not or may not exist. A rule of law which assumes as true and will not allow to be disproved something which is false but not impossible, unquote. Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. This distinction between a man and a person is a difficult concept to grasp, but a proper understanding of the relationship between the government, the man, and the straw man is essential to gaining increased freedom. I could think of a better way, but while the concept of these relationships is very simple, there are some foundational principles that must be explored. All right. I'm going to stop there for today. We'll finish up on the differences of, we're going to get into corporations a little bit and entities to see how that plays its part in what we're going to do. And then we're going to get into promissory notes, or legal tender. All right, so bear with us as we get through this kind of tedious defining stuff, but it's important that we understand this. It's important because it isn't taught in school, and because like many homeschoolers even aren't aware of this because well, they have a higher chance of learning more about this because they tend to find things like this and they're like, oh, my children should know this, and they teach it, which is what's supposed to be done. But if you buy homeschooling courses, they're not going to have this stuff in it. And like I said, they don't teach law in school except in college, and then they teach their limited case law, not what's the word? Common law, things like that, Catholic law. All right, let's get started with Mass and be on with our day. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei. Oremus. O most holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of the servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc maculatum hostium, quam ego indinius famulus tuus, affiditibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro unum et vidibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivi sacre defunctis ut mihi, et idis proficiat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitatem mirabilitur condidicit mirabilis reformastur da nobis pedius at creativum mysterium, eis divinitatis esse consortis criminitatis nostrae, fieri natis est parteceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tegum vivit et regnat, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Ferimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementiam, ut conspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et totius mundi salute, cum adore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum, et sequiet sacrificium nostrum et conspectu hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronum nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concoblationum cum tibi efferimus ab memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honoram Deum matronam nostra et Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis interceded in eterna caelis, cor memoriam agimus in teris pediendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meum equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nomini sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque potei, sursum corda habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te ege tu clementes mi mater pater, Deum matronum nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum, Deum nostrae supplices oramus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis, quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ad honoriet regere dignitas tot orbit terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famularum famulacatorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, RM, Neil and Earl Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Robert Dasco Jr. and Sr., Luis Antonio Cantu, Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mindy, Mark Jr., Clarette, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Alex Tafour, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLaren and family, Sarah and Becky, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafour, Began, Wolf, and Kane families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first State of Adventist Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange, with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. to enable us to transition peacefully. We ask that women come to understand that the raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic world. We ask that all quote-unquote gay marriage, pornography, and the OnlyFans platform be banned and stopped. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask for the effects of the satanic ritual held on June 29th, 1963, between the Vatican and the Masonic Lodge in South Carolina be reversed and the spell destroyed forever. We pray for the elimination of all harmful radiation waves in our air and in our homes. Any devices that were made to harm via waves of sound or energy of any kind. We pray to make known publicly who murdered Saint Lucia. And we ask to shut down all gateways and portals and any attempts at bringing the demonic into our realm. We ask that the satanic document of the Vatican law, that is the Jewish Talmud, be destroyed. That you destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize the authority of the Catholic Church in Fatima, and that you release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus and send them back to hell, those demons. And we pray for those souls in the Aegean Sea who are experiencing all the earthquakes and volcanic activity and rumblings. May they be given signs as to what they should do. All this in accordance with the Most Holy Trinitarian's divine will. The Trinitarian Theophany's divine will. Et omnium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides cognita est, et noto devotio pro quibus tibi efferimus, verque tibi affront hoc sacrificem laudis, pro se suis quem nebus pro redemptione animarum suarum prospe salutis et calamitatis suae. Tibi credunt vota sua aeterna Deum vivo et vero, cum cantes et memoniam honorantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum maternam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium torum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis praecibusque cancedas ut in omnibus protectionis tuae monum exidio pede in num Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblatione de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratum ac et tabernacle feceri dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pidie quam pateretur recepit panem in sanctus ac honorabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit didique luminis sui dicens, accipite et manducate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est excipienser hunc preclarum calicem in sanctus ac honorabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit didique luminis sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex omnis. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haec quotescum proefficeritis in me malefacietis. unde et memores Deum nostro virtui, sed plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beate passionis nec non et nefarious resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis afferimus praeclare maestati tui de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno uteris spicieri dineris, supplices te ragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ibi hec per Philippa manus tuum ut quod ex hoc altaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sincerimus, omnis sanctificatione caelese gratia Dei per amor per Deum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Ray Dasco, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum ad omnibus in Christum quiscentibus locum refugere illucis et paucis et odora geste procamere per Deum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bono creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est ibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum, sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea Matronam nostrae Materam, Deum Iesum Christum, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dei Matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in Dievus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per Deum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et quoque apud te. Haecum extio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat excipentibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Dei Matronam nostrae, coprante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacrosanctum corpus et sanguinum, tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in harare mandatis et et unum quam separari permittas, qui cum eo de Deum Matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perque copris tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi ad tutum et copris, et ad me delam percipiendam qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum Matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea Matronam nostrum non sunt dignus, ut te meis in tanti diquibus nabatur mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignus, ut te meis in tanti diquibus nabatur mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignus, ut te meis in tanti diquibus nabatur mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. quadrutubuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae rotubud mihi, calicem salutaris accipium in nomine Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum immocabo, laudans immocabo Deum matronam nostra et ab inimicis mei salvos sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quodoris sumus Deum Iesum Christum punimente capiamis et immunere temporae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod somsit sanguis quam petari et hediat visceribus meis, et praesta ut in me non remaniat scelerum macula quem pirat sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite mis est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis meae et praesta ut sacrificium, cor oculis tuae majestatis in unus obtuditibus et acceptabile mihi et omnibus, pro quibus idut obtulis siti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, gratias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Good day, Greg. Hola, ¿cómo está? I wish I knew a little bit of Gaelic, but I don't. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate your being here. Thank you, everyone, for coming and giving me encouragement to keep me going. Please go and sanctify all those you meet. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Have a great day.